bit of this article, and then we'll kind of go into what's going on here. Chris Brown believes that aliens have not only visited humans, but they have also lived among us. On Valentine's Day, Chris Brown shared his thoughts on aliens and UFOs in a post on his Instagram story. This is hella random, but don't fall for the fake UFO false flags. Get out of here. Extraterrestrials have been visiting us for a long time. Some live among us. Now, I don't know about that, but, who knows? We are the only destructive species dooming our existence. Don't let them run with the narrative. Just say I'm crazy, but also make your own judgment. They just started acknowledging the possibilities of UAPs and UFOs. Now they're shooting everything that moving in the sky. So here's his post. He did that. Congratulations. Interest in UFOs and UAPs and unidentified anomalous phenomenons has been at an all-time high in recent years, beginning with the leak of the USS Nimitz UFO. So now, it does seem like it's kind of a distraction. But let's check out this. I'm sure we've all seen this. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not subscribing. So I'm sure we've seen all this. Okay. Go faster. What does it say? Taken aboard a U.S. Navy FA-18 Super Hornet, the unaltered footage was captured by a Raytheon Advanced targeting forward-looking infrared pod, which contains the most advanced sensors and powerful tracking systems on the market. Keep it moving, baby. So, Raytheon... sensors in infrared mode, sensors in TV visual. Thank you for pointing that out. Sensor azimuth is aimed 4 degree. Okay. Sensor zoom. Okay, thank you for pointing all these out, but can we just get to the tic-tac here? Okay, here we go. It's zooming in on this thing. This noise is terrible. Turn that down. The object appears dark against bright daytime sky and is clearly oblong shaped. And so they're sensing this thing. And they're tracking it. And they're just like, what is it? And what's interesting is that, Neil deGrasse Tyson, I saw him in an interview talking about why is there not any kind of clear footage? Our cameras are nicer. Why don't we have clear footage of these UAPs, these UFOs? And he does make a good point, and we're going to get there too, because I was just watching a video the other day about someone who was talking about how these things are created. The sensor either breaks, lock on the object, or the object shifts rapidly. And so, this is what we have. This is what we get to look at. I don't know. What is that? That could be anything. Neil is a pawn. WSO changes zoom several times. The object suddenly and instantly accelerates to the left out of view of the sensor at what appears to be an unprecedented speed. The acceleration was so high that the tracker couldn't do it. Well, I could see that. I could see that he's a pawn. Okay, and I know you can't trust everybody on TikTok, but this was interesting. Check this out.
There's something called Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, good one.
What is that?
That's
lasers, right?
I've heard of Project Bluebeam before, but I didn't actually know what it was.
Yeah, I can actually talk about that one, but that is this is really bad. But you know the people that see orbs in the sky,
Yeah.
go around that fly faster than
UFOs?
UFOs.
Yeah, there's Navy pilots. There's multiple Navy pilots who talk
I've
about
seen them.
they got their so they were flying F-18s. These Navy pilots, and one of them's coming in here in 2 weeks. He's Ryan Graves.
Okay.
He's a Navy pilot flying off the coast of North Carolina, and they got their radar upgraded on their F-18s, and all of a sudden they were seeing these things darting around on their radar.
Okay. Don't tell him what I'm about to say and see if he knows about it.
Okay.
So what we do is we play with our own forces to make sure our trickery will work on the enemy. And those are directed energy weapons of where we do intersecting beams or focus beams into the atmosphere. And notice they're always in the atmosphere to excite the electron orbitals of the oxygen and nitrogen in our atmosphere, and it causes a glow and it causes ionization. That ionization shows up on radar, and it's like a cat laser pointer, and we're making planes chase them.
That's exactly how they describe these things moving, like laser pointers.
Yeah, and so we can do it in 3 space. We can make it look like
In 3-dimensional space.
Yeah, and we can make it look like an entire fleet is about to drop bombs on, let's say, Europe, and then just have them disappear. And they get all their planes up in the air, and we attack them from the other direction, assuming we're attacking
Who
Europe.
is doing this? The Navy, you said?
Somebody. Let's just say a group. A group, you know.
And you know this for a fact.
I know for a fact, yeah. So anyway, don't tell your
A
guests.
group within the U.S. government.
Yeah, okay, we'll leave it at that. Yes.
And
And
is this something that could be seen with the naked eye, or
Yes,
was this something
because
that was only...
it glows. It glows, so it would be seeable. You can see it by the naked eye, and it would leave a radar trace. So it's perfect as a deception, and it involves the voice of God weapons that I was talking about.
Project Bluebeam does.
And this got leaked, so it probably won't have the effect, and they probably won't do it. But if you wanted to bring the world together, as President Reagan said in several UN speeches, you would have a common enemy like evil aliens attacking.
The Battle of Los Angeles. Wait, is that real, or are you just making a joke? Because I don't know what the Battle of Los Angeles is. Is that a movie? I don't know.
Forget our differences.
1945, the Battle of Los Angeles. We'll come back to, and that's Richard Duncan, and he's supposedly a Harvard scientist, which I don't know. I did zero research. The Battle of Los Angeles, also known as the Great Los Angeles Air Raid, is the name given by contemporary sources to a rumored attack of continental United States by Imperial Japan and subsequent anti-aircraft artillery barrage, which took place from late February 24th to early February 25th, 1942 over Los Angeles. The incident occurred 3 months... The incident occurred less than 3 months after the U.S. entered World War II in response to the Imperial Japanese Navy surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, and one day after the bombardment of Elwood near Santa Barbara on February 23rd. Initially, the target of the aerial barrage was thought to be an attacking force from Japan, but speaking at a press conference shortly afterward, Secretary in the Navy Frank Knox called the purported attack a false alarm. Newspapers of the time published a number of reports and speculation of a cover-up to conceal an actual invasion by enemy airplanes. When documenting the incident in 1949, the United States Coast Artillery Association identified a meteorological balloon sent aloft at 1 a.m. as having started all the shooting, and concluded that once the firing started, imagination created all kinds of targets in the sky. Everyone joined in. In 1983, the U.S. Office of Air Force History attributed the events to a case of war nerves triggered by a lost weather balloon and exacerbated by stray flares and shell bursts from adjoining batteries. Sounds kind of sus. Sounds kind of sus. Ufology. A published Los Angeles Times on February 26, 1942 has been featured in UFO conspiracy theories as evidence of an extraterrestrial visitation. They assert that the photo clearly shows searchlights focused on an alien spaceship. However, the photo was heavily modified by photo retouching prior to the publication, a routine practice in graphic arts of the time intended to improve contrast in black and white photos. Times writer Larry Harnish noted that the retouched photo, along with fake newspaper headlines, were presented as true historical material in trailers for the 2011 Battle Los Angeles. Harnish commented, if the publicity campaign wanted to establish UFO research as nothing but lies and fakery, it could have done a better job. And so he's referring to this picture right here. And what is this? What is this thing down here? What is this? You can't read that. Firing asleep, possible injury. So this is somebody. These are bullet holes in the car. Searchlights and anti-aircraft guns comb the sky during alarm. You can't really see what that even is. So, yeah, why not? This Project Bluebeam could be that too. They might have had this technology for a long time. We don't know. I'm not trying to say that UFOs.
No, I'm getting it cold. You said try it cold, right? I know, isn't that good?
What is it?
Ube ice cream.
Ube. How was the
We had so much fun. Yes, get some. It's for real. Have get some. Like,
Raina went to the new Asian market here. Did you get anything good?
we got lots of good stuff.
What'd you get?
We have lobster crackers
Lobster crackers.
and shrimp flavored snack.
All right, shut the door. Shrimp flavored snack. They left. They're out of here. They don't care about us. They don't really care about us. This is interesting though. I think I've heard of this. Because I feel like I've seen this picture before. Within hours of the end of the air raid, Secretary of the Navy Frank Knox held a press conference saying the entire incident had been a false alarm due to anxiety of war nerves. Knox's comments were followed by statements from the Army the next day that reflected General George C. Marshall's supposition and that the incident might have been caused by enemy agents using commercial airplanes in a psychology warfare campaign to generate mass panic. Some contemporary press suspected a cover-up of the truth. An editorial in the Long Beach Independent wrote, "There's a mysterious reticence. God, there is a mysterious reticence about the whole affair, and it appears that some of the censorship is trying to halt discussion on the matter. Speculation was rampant as to invading airplanes and their bases. Theories include a secret base in northern Mexico, as well as a Japanese submarine station offshore with the capability of carrying planes. Others speculated that the incident was either staged or exaggerated to give coastal defense industries an excuse to move further inland." Pepe, what's up, Pepe? Welcome in. More drums. 4 drummers. Representative Leland of Santa Monica called the congressional investigation, saying none of the explanations so far offered removed an episode of the category complete mystification. This was either a practice raid or a raid to throw a scare into 2 million people, or a mistaken identity raid, or raid to lay political foundation to take away Southern California's war industry. Where's the drummers? Where are the drummers? They're right here, buddy. So we were watching this guy. His name is Robert Duncan, and he was talking about Project Bluebeam because of all the UFOs that have been getting shut down, and we have musicians sort of reacting to it, like Chris Brown. So we kind of got into aliens here. But this dude is talking about Project Bluebeam, which is supposedly a these like focused lasers that I didn't understand what he was saying, but using focused lasers to create images in the sky that actually can be picked up on radar. And so he's basically saying that none of these UFOs are real, that it's just sort of this, projection in the sky. Is that true? I don't know. Let's find out.
And we fight against it. So
we wouldn't look at each other as Chinese or Russian or American. We look at each other as Earthlings.
It's humans. Yeah, as Earthlings. And so that was Project Bluebeam, was to trick the human race into believing either God is coming down, everybody hears the voice of God, the microwave hearing effect, get along, whatever the new message is, or it was going to be the evil aliens attacking. And notice how they, all of a sudden, all the governments release all their information on UFOs, and there's a whole division dedicated, and that's just deception.
You think it's all deception?
I think it's all deception.
Really?
Yeah. But, that's my opinion. I've looked at all the videotapes and that people have given me, and I can explain away each one of them.
So apparently, but there's apparently lots of footage and videos and photos that have not been released to the public.
Yeah, I haven't seen those, so I can't give.
And if you think this is all some sort of psyop, what do you think the ultimate purpose of it is?
Distraction against a lot of this human experimentation we're doing.
Distractions. So this was the Senate. So yesterday they had a Senate hearing in regards to what these unidentified flying objects were. And these are some of the senators that are being sort of questioned after the hearing. So this is interesting.
You get any answers as to what those other objects were?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
If they're not new, sir, then why were they shot down?
Well, that's what's new. No, that's what's new. What's new is that that they were shot down, which is extraordinary because we've never shot down anything in 65 years of NORAD, and over one weekend they shot down 3 things. So, but the bigger concern now that everyone wants to know is what is it and what were they doing here, but as they describe what's been observed, we have hundreds and hundreds of these over the years.
Going into the last 2 hearings, I had the impression that this was something.
This Kennedy here, he's so funny.
Over the last 2 weeks, and that's not accurate. This has been going on a long time.
Do they give an explanation as to why they're shooting them down now? Why
Nope,
they're deciding?
they did not.
Yeah, some are saying that it's a wagging of the dog to improve approval ratings.
I don't care to speculate on that.
I don't care to
I just
speculate.
know that we need some more transparency. I understand the need for national security secrets, but now that this cow is out of the barn, the president and the director
See, I like his little folksy things he says. Now that the car's out of the barn.
of National Intelligence needs to address it. They need to explain to the American people, if they know, and I'm not sure they know, if they know they're not telling us, what these things are, who put them up there, and do they pose a threat to the American people? And if the answer is no, how do they know that?
What's your assessment? Do you feel like there's a threat? Learning what you've just learned, do you feel like the threat level is low or not or high?
The only thing I feel confident saying right now is that if you are confused, You understand the situation perfectly.
There ought to be more transparency, whether it's from the president in a national address or through some other senior official. The American people need and deserve more facts in real time, not months later, but right now.
You know, I think it is time for the president to address the nation. This is when we need to have an Oval Office address. And he needs to say, this is what we know, this is what we're doing.
This has been going on for a long time.
I wonder why all aliens go to the U.S. Only happens in the U.S. No, that's not true. They're getting UFO reports all over the world. South America, China. I think in Russia. You think it's the Ruskies? Yeah, I think they had some sightings in Russia too.
Some of the objects. Others we think we probably missed. And we don't know what most of them are.
So bottom line, you're kind of walking away from this thing still having a lot of questions.
Yes. Yes. We have unity.
This poor reporter.
Did you learn anything significant beyond what's been reported in the news, do you feel?
Yeah, I learned a little bit. I can't talk about all of it, but
of course you can't.
What I took away from the briefing today, more than the briefing last week,
or Hitler's bell still being spotted.
That, this has been
What's
going
that?
on for a long time. At least 2017, and last week we were told 2019. That's what I took away from it today.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Lock your doors tonight.
What? So I keep seeing people saying, like, why did you say lock your doors today? They made a UFO. Hitler's bell. Let's go. I like the movies Mars Attack. It's okay. I was never a big fan. What is this? Die Glock was a top secret Nazi scientific technological device, secret weapon, or Wunderwaffe, first described by Polish journalist and author Igor Witkowski, and whatever that says. It was later popularized by military journalist and author Nick Cook, who associated it with Nazi occultism, anti-gravity, and free energy suppression research. Mainstream reviews have criticized claims about Die Glock as being pseudoscientific, recycled rumors, and a hoax. Die Glock and other alleged Nazi miracle weapons have been dramatized in video games, television shows, and novels. Oh, that's interesting. So with Operation Paperclip, we had people bringing. We had the United States recruiting Nazi scientists to come over here and work for the United States. So if this is what, if they did accomplish anti-gravity and such, then that would explain why we have a lot of these over in the United States, because we took the Nazi scientists over here and we took their information, we took their technology. And we got to think that it was shortly after World War II that we started getting all these UFO things going on. So is it Project Bluebeam? Is it just focused lasers? Is it Nazi technology that we just sort of taken and acclimated to our own? Because I'll tell you one goddamn thing. I'd prefer it to be United States, U.S. Technology than our enemies having this, because we're really talking about anti-gravity. And that was one of the things that came out in the reports in the last few days, that some of these didn't have any propulsion, any signs of propulsion. So if we have that technology, we need to make sure. Werner von Braun would kill the slowest worker every day to keep up with the work demands, and he got us to the moon. Hey, let's go. Yeah! Thank you, Werner. I appreciate you. We got through the... Oh, I can't do it. I think it's advanced drones. You know, and I was thinking, because a while ago, we watched that movie. What's that movie called? It's I can't remember, but it came out a couple years ago. And it's the one that talks about how, like, these UFOs were disarming nuclear weapons in, like, Montana and stuff. And I think he even had, what's his name? Who's the daddy of UFOs? Bob Lazar. It was pretty good, but I did have some people. We watched it in the Discord, and we did have some folks that were Navy, and we did have some people who were, like, really, you know, strong thinkers, and they agreed with that. And so I tended to drift away from the idea of them being aliens, and rather just being advanced technology that we have. It's interesting that, you know, like Nader's brought up, in the 1940s, in the Battle of Los Angeles, that's right around the time that we're, you know, in the war. We're bringing over Nazi scientists, and maybe that was something, or maybe that was the Nazis, you know, testing out their technology, just bringing it over. I am interested in Project Bluebeam, though. That's really cool, Nares. Thanks for spotlighting that. Project Bluebeam. False. The Bluebeam joint. Thank you. It says false. The U.S. shoot down mystery speculations over aliens. I'm a book of useless information. Same. Same. My dad filled me up with all kinds of useless information about, like, big band and old movies. It's just ridiculous. False. The Bluebeam, a joint project of NASA and the United States and the United Nations, uses the most powerful technologies to spread a new religion on Earth and create various simulations, images to establish total control over humans, after which the New World Order will finally be established. Last year about UFOs, don't remember. Yeah, me neither. I think that's the same one. I think that's the same one where I think we're talking about the same one. There was a couple of them that came out. There was one about Bob Lazar, and then I think you're the Netflix one. I know a retired F-16 that admitted to UFOs. Well, that's the thing, man. We're seeing all kinds of, you know, Navy or Air Force people coming out talking about this stuff. So, I mean, it does seem to be that there are some kind of advanced technologies out there, but I wouldn't put it past any of these folks that like a project like Project Bluebeam to exist either. I mean, why wouldn't you want to scare an entire country into submitting without having to fire a single rocket? Doesn't mean it's aliens, just unidentified. Right, exactly. And that's where, okay, so that's where I was at especially after watching this video or that documentary, both the Bob Lazar one and that Netflix one, which I think they're both on Netflix. I think I'm mistaken. I don't know. Anyways, I was just like, it's aliens, bro. It's fucking aliens. And then after talking to people in the Navy and stuff, it was just like, most likely it's advanced technology that we have control over, and we like to go and test it out over people. Now, there is also this thing that's going around where people are talking about, especially in the last few days. So in the last few days, we had, as you guys know, we've had several UFO being shot down. And it's going on at a time when, let's see, Ohio has a mini Chernobyl going on. We've had two U.S. lawmakers in New Jersey be assassinated. Haven't heard about that. No one's talking about that. We just had a truck overturn, and this was yesterday. We had a truck overturn in Arizona that's releasing nitric acid into the air and had parts of Tucson, Arizona sheltering in place. We had a train crash in South Carolina and in Houston, and outside of Houston, Texas, both carrying chemicals in it. We got the people from Twitter are being Congress brought them up before Congress has a hearing going. I don't know if it's still going on, but they brought the ex leaders of Twitter in and asking about the Hunter Biden laptop stuff. So there is this word going around where it's most likely a distraction. A mode of distraction, because there's a lot of shit going on that's not getting news coverage, and it's I think that a lot of people have come to the conclusion that the mainstream media is not telling us news; they're telling us propaganda. It seems that all these different news organizations are just propagandizing us. They have direct ties to the government, to the DOJ. And just a small peek inside of that is these Twitter files, which are getting zero coverage as well. And if the DOJ, the FBI have direct ties to a huge platform like Twitter that has a lot of influence, you tell me they don't have a direct line to CNN, to MSNBC, Fox News? You don't think they have a direct line to whoever's calling the shots over there? I mean, when you think of like weapons of mass destruction and how much they tried pushing that, and maybe, I don't know if Pepe knows what that is, but the WAPs or WOP, what is it? Weapons of mass destruction. WMPs, or WMDs, fuck me. WMDs were pushed upon the American public until just like a few years ago that finally came out like, oh yeah, well, we were just lying, or it was just made up. It was just something, it was just a reason for us to go and invade different places. So, I don't put it past any of these news organizations where people supposedly get informed that they wouldn't just create these distractions so that we can sit and be astounded by what's going on with these UFOs, man. What's going on? And even if they are real and they are technology of the United States and we are shooting them down, it's still, if that's even true, it's still a huge distraction. Let's see what's on the front page of MSNBC. I just want to see. Let's see what the breaking news is over at MSNBC. Oh, Trump. Look at that. No, I don't want to enable ads. No. I will not enable ads. No evidence on table. Yeah, they don't have any kind of evidence of anything, right? They don't have any kind of fucking they said they're looking for the projectile, and because of cold weather and mountainous terrain, they can't recover anything. They don't know. They don't know. And this is what the front page news is on MSNBC. If Trump throws a online tantrum today, this lawyer is likely why. And then look over here. Just a little, emergency managers made crucial errors after. They made errors. Buffalo shooter sentenced to life in prison. They should just murder him, get him off the fucking world, off the planet. I'm not a big fan of corporal punishment, but I mean, if this guy is guilty, we all know he's guilty. He filmed it. He put it on Twitch. Fuck that guy. The government is exempt from errors. Yes, no one, the government, and the fucking, and MSNBC will come and fucking wipe their ass for them and tidy them up and powder their balls. Look at this. This should be front page news. Like, our food supply, Ohio supplies the world with food, not the whole world, but our shit goes international. There's dying fish. There's animals who are dying. It's insane. The Chinese news. Kind of, right? It feels like that sometimes. Because who's benefiting from all this dissension? Who's benefiting from these stories that divide us? Paid by by TikTok. And what's interesting, Naders, is that I'm finding so many of these news stories on TikTok before the mainstream even comes close to it. Like, still some of these stories that are getting broke on TikTok are still not even being talked about. Like, there's a lady on TikTok showing her dead chickens. And there's somebody going to the river, what is it called? Little River Run in Ohio. It's something like that. And showing with her phone, look at all the dead fucking fish. This is what's going on. And, this is what they have to say. The Ohio train derailment was bad enough. The emergency response made it worse. So, okay. CNN wouldn't touch real news with a 10-foot pole. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot fucking chlamydia-ridden pole. Yeah, and here this mini Chernobyl is what people have been calling it. But no, this is the front page of MSNBC. Where's Tucson is being locked down? It's all about Trump. What's CNN got? Let's see what CNN's showing. Let's go see what CNN's. Why spy balloon has what the spy balloon has to do with the Hainan Island? I don't know what that is. Russian troops pouring into Ukraine are ill-equipped. Propaganda. Everything is fucking propaganda. Biden could deliver remarks this week addressing downed object. Oh, he could? Here's what high-altitude balloons are used for. Look at this. Where is the Amish dog breeder explains how George Santos allegedly stole puppies? George Santos. The cross-dressing lawmaker who lies about everything. That's what they're going for here. Not like, hey, Ohio, you should be fucking freaking out. My friend was telling me he thinks that this is World War III, but it's going to be us against ourselves. Starts here, and they just want to poison us. And the thing is that you look at how many of these warehouses or these food manufacturing plants. What was it? It was that we had 2,200 food manufacturing plants in 2019, and then now, because of these weird explosions and weird fires and these chicken manufacturers are just going up, it's like it's cut in half. Production of corn is cut down by what was it, 40%. The production of or the cultivation of like carrots is down by 40%. All these crops are being grown in 2022 for 2023. So it feels like, and I'm not saying this is what it is, but it feels like that there are external forces pushing us towards a brink, because once you put famine in the mix, with social justice and how people will freak out over, these social justice issues, and then you put in hunger. I mean, I don't think social justice even matters at that point, because people are just going to start freaking out, and people will start stealing shit, people will turn on their neighbor, because when your kids are hungry and looking up at you with those big eyes with sunken cheeks because of malnutrition, you're going to do what it takes to fucking make sure there's something in their belly. And that's how we end up, fucking going to war with ourselves. Our infrastructure is from what, the 1950s or something? all these trains are derailing, and fucking our president demanded and forced the trains to get back to work because forced the workers to go back to work and not strike because he wanted, you know, he wanted them to keep pushing, make sure make sure shit gets there on time. You got people just overworked, underpaid. They're cutting corners. These Norfolks and Union Pacific, they're cutting corners and at any point they can. I saw somewhere they had their braking system is from like the beginning of trains. Like they still use that same technology as when we first invented trains. Look up how much farmland. Oh yeah, let's see how much farmland. That's not on the front page of CNN. Look at this. Nothing. You know what's also interesting is that you're not seeing, and you know I'm not. This is what's great about America. Okay, so she was studying to become a doctor. Here's what we know about the MSU shooting victims. We're talking about the victims, right? Sowing more division. These people who died, this is horrible. I hate the fact that this is going on. But this MSU shooting, it was a black dude. It was a black dude who came in and blew this shit up. And we're not seeing that anywhere. We're not seeing that dude's face anywhere, which rightfully so. Fuck that guy. Again, that guy should... I'm glad that dude's gone. Hey, Chris Thompson Music, you came in right at the time. And this is what I love about America, is that no longer is it just white people doing mass shootings. It's the blacks, it's the Latinos or Latinxes, it's Asians. It's truly a melting pot of fucking mass destruction. And you can't just say that it's the whites doing it all the time. And you can't just say, you know, like, there's been several mass shootings where it was fucking all colors of the rainbow. So let's rejoice in that. Let's give thanks that we are a true melting pot of destruction here in America. I don't give thanks for the death that they brought upon us. That's horrifying. I can't stand it. Violence is horrible. But at least we have real diversity in our mass shootings. No one's talking about mass shootings in Chicago. Yeah, what was it? A couple years ago in the summer, it was 60 people in one weekend in South Chicago. 60 people. Nobody was talking about that. Nobody. Here is mass shooting big news in Sweden. Wasn't there? There was a mass shooting in Sweden, wasn't there? I mean, here's the thing about Sweden is that, I mean, fucking not here. No mass shooting in Sweden. Let me just double tap. Violent mass shooting in Sweden. The last one was in 1995. Norway. Oh, Norway. Yeah. Oh, yeah. U.S. It's U.S. Can you own guns there? So the last one is that's showing, it looks like in 1995. All mass shootings is big news. Yeah, I'm sure it is, because you guys don't have that kind of same violence, but also you guys have sort of a monoculture there. You guys have sort of you guys don't have as many people, and you guys are also you guys can own guns, right? Probably not automatic weapons. You can probably own guns for shooting, and you got to get licensed. Sweden gun laws. I'm sure you can own guns. Yeah, you got to get a weapons license, and it probably has to be approved. It can't just be, now I want to go home and let off a few rounds. Yo, I want to get back to the range too, actually. Yeah, the range, man, last time I was at the range, I was having a really good time. What is this? Is this the shrimp stuff?
This is shrimp. No, I'm sorry, that's lobster.
It's good.
Okay, one more lobster. Shrimp. You know I love me a shrimp cracker.
I can smell that one. Let me see.
These ones are fire. Which ones do you like better?
I kind of like the shrimp one better. Right.
That store's pretty awesome. It's like it was just the soft opening, so they have but they're gonna do like the whole like fish tanks and stuff with like for the seafood and stuff. So
Is it like 99?
it's not as extensive because it's mostly Asian, like Japanese, whereas like 99 Ranch Market is like Asian,
All
Pan
the
Asian.
Asian.
Yeah.
All the Filipinexes.
That's not a real word.
Yes, it is. Filipinx is next. It's Latinx and Filipinx. Okay, so Sweden, you can own guns. It's just you got way more restrictions. And it's not like you can... the fun thing about Ohio is that they no longer... You don't need any kind of training or any kind of registration. You can just open carry here and conceal carry here in Ohio. No paperwork, nothing. You'll just see people walking around with, I mean, a lot of people conceal it, but you'll just see people walking around with a gun on their hip. And it's normal for us. It's normal. And if a mass shooter does come in, I would be very grateful for someone who's like there was a guy, was it in Indiana, there was a big mall shooting, and the dude took him out. Is different state of... It is very different from state to state because like in New York, open carry or concealed carry is like a whole process. You got to get like all kinds of background checks and stuff. To own a pistol here in Ohio, you do have to have a background check. To own a shotgun, you can just go in and buy a shotgun. There's no check. You can just go into a sports store. We used to sell them in like Walmarts here. And you might still be able to buy some shotguns in Walmart. I'm not sure. I don't think so anymore. I think since Columbine, that's different. And Illinois requires a concealed... Yes, we used to have permits here in Naders. Now in Ohio, there's no permits. There's nothing. You just strap that baby on and you go on with your day. To carry a loaded weapon, yeah, they don't give a fuck here in Ohio. Give zero fucks. Same country, different laws. That's sick. That's sick in a good way or sick in a bad way. I'm not sure. I don't know your vernacular. Best believe I'll carry in Chicago. That's the thing, man. You go to these different cities and you don't know what to expect. And it is weird. It's different from state to state, which makes it confusing. But then again, that's how the United States was set up. The United States was set up where the states get to create their own laws and their own ways of being. There's federal laws that we all have to take. We all have to respect and adhere to. But it was set up so the states can take care of their own needs because each state has their own ideals and they have their own needs. They have their own, they have their own infrastructures in some cases, like Texas has their own like electrical grid. I'd rather get a slap on the wrist and lose my gun than be dead at an intersection. You ain't lying, Naders. I mean, I get real nervous going to these big cities because we travel a lot and we travel to the cities and like, especially in New York. Like the last time we were in New York, it was so creepy, man. Just people are fucking falling out on fentanyl and rats fucking running the fucking running the underground. The rats are running the underground drug trade. It's crazy. I wouldn't bring a fancy gun though. Nah. And I know that how my wife feels about all that. But it does make me nervous. So I don't blame anybody. I don't blame anybody for wanting to be protected. I mean, that's the thing, man. Freedom isn't free. It comes with a fucking hefty price. You want freedom to do these things? There's blood in the streets to pay for this shit, man. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that people feel like they have to go and do things illegally and acquire things illegally. But I don't know. I'd rather be able to protect my family, protect my state, protect my city, protect my country, than be ran over and just be told what to do. Because that's the biggest thing you gotta understand. I feel like the reason why we have these ideas that China and Russia are sort of implanting these divisive natures into our social structure, like, you know, like this woke culture and anything that sort of is divisive within us, is because we're our own worst enemies. If we bond together, and even the state, right? Because we basically have an oligarchy now, and the only thing that stops these people from complete control over us is the fact that we have fucking guns. We can shoot back. And that's the fear, right? That's why it's not just like, let's go and invade this country. Besides, we're in an awesome space where we have oceans that surround us, and we have Canada and Mexico are on our side. But that's why you see these divisive narratives being pushed on us, because they know we're our own worst enemy. And if you can fuck up the infrastructure, if you can create enemies out of neighbors, if you can poison the food, if you can create a food source that's poisonous, if you push McDonald's and processed foods, and you have a bunch of people who are out of shape, and then you have people who are saying that's fat phobic, or that's transphobic, or that's homophobic, like every day we'll turn on each other, and that's our downfall. That will be our downfall, is that we poison ourselves, and we're so divided that whoever has the control could just sort of move in, and we'll be shooting each other, not shooting and not caring about what's going on externally. What is it? It's divided we fall, right? And that's sort of what's happening. And whether it's external countries, or if it's our own country, or these oligarchs that want more power, or if it's Bill Gates who wants more land to grow soy so he can force us to buy his disgusting Impossible burgers. Bill Gates, land owner. Then where are we? Microsoft co-founder is considered the largest private landowner in the country, with some 269,000 acres across dozens of states, according to last year's edition of the Land Report 100. Bill Gates owns the majority of the farm. Bill Gates also is in cahoots with the WEF, Klaus Schwab, eating bugs. You will own nothing and be happy. It's interesting. It's interesting, right? I know it sounds like conspiracy nonsense, but it's interesting. It's very, very interesting and scary. And scary as fuck. Oh wait, hold on. While Bill Gates, we got fact checks here, guys. Let's trust these fact checkers. Claims online, the fact check: Bill Gates doesn't own most U.S. farmland. BlackRock doesn't own most houses. Wow. I wonder who fucking owns Reuters. Let's see who owns Reuters. Who owns Reuters? Thomson Corporation of Canada. Reuters. Employs 2,500 journalists. Reuters is one of the largest news agencies in the world. Headquarters is in London. Editor-in-chief. I mean, once you start drilling down, you really do see that Reuters 21st century. Reuters share price grew during the dot-com boom, then fell in troubles. Okay, in 2008, 2009. Thomson Reuters appointed Jim Smith as CEO. Thomas Reuters agreed to sell the intellectual properties in operation, announced expansions to Toronto as part of cuts. Reuters Corp. Reuters announced they're going behind a paywall. Yeah, well, that's stupid. Butter is easy to eat, pretty hard to make. Yeah. If everyone ate what they produced, we'd be a better place. Yeah, probably. But most people have become so dependent. I mean, I'm dependent on it. I have the ability to grow stuff. I know how to grow a garden. I know how to do that stuff. But how many people know how to do that kind of shit? And I didn't learn that from my dad either. I didn't learn that from my parents, even though my parents both grew up. My mom grew up on farms, and my dad grew up pulling weeds and shit. And none of them taught me shit. You want to know what taught me how to fucking grow shit? Well, we won't go there. But I've been growing shit for a long time before anything. Well, I mean, in California, I grew tons of weed, but it was legal there. I would never do anything like that here, where it's not legal completely. Anyways, I'm getting bored with this. Let's see. Thomson Reuters Corporation. Thomson Reuters Corp Limited. So who owns this? Let's just do this. Let's just go Group Limited, BlackRock. BlackRock partners with Thomas Reuters. So here's the fact check. Fact check. Bill Gates doesn't own most of the U.S. farmland, and BlackRock doesn't own most houses. Who owns Reuters? Who's doing the fact checking? BlackRock partners with Reuters for diversity fund. Yeah, okay. Inclusion and diversity fund. Great. All right. Well, thank you. That's great. That's just great. Who owns it? Let's see. The Royal Bank of Canada, and they're doing great right now. Bank of Montreal, Vanguard, there's one for you. That's another one that owns most of the shit around here. Bank of Nova Scotia. There you go. Anyways. Real fun stuff here. Real fun stuff. So, do the aliens exist? Do they exist? I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. Do UFOs exist? Probably. Is it a psyop? Mighty, what's going on? Good to see you, friend. My dude. Hey, Raina, welcome in. So, I don't know.